and welcome to my first post of 2025. Might even be first post in a couple years, I don't know, but hey, appreciate you sticking around with me. Why now? Well, it might seem a couple months late, but Microsoft has made Windows 11 24H2 pretty much generally available. It's been on the market since November, but my machine finally got the update on New Year's Eve. I'm seeing more and more people are getting hit by rollout waves, which is great, right? But one of the things that's been removed is actually something that was near and dear to my heart. And I talked about this a couple years ago with reference to Windows information protection. Now, that's not necessarily gone yet. I'm looking for it right now. But the other corollary technology that I like to use at the time, that I demo all the time and set up for as many customers as I could, was Windows Defender Application Guard. Now, this was introduced, gosh, I don't know, probably 6 years ago now. It was going to allow you to isolate Edge inside of a hypervisor so that users, when they went to certain sites, would have access to the full operating system. But when they went to other sites that you as the admin could control, they would be basically in a containerized hypervisor protected instance. And I could define what level of interaction was allowed between the hypervisor and the host. So you can do things like don't allow copy pasta from the clipboard, don't allow print access, all that kind of fun stuff. I love this feature. And unfortunately, it is gone. As of Windows 11 24H2, fully removed from the operating system. Now, Microsoft had a few reasons why they stated for this. They were finding low adoption rates, which I believe, but those adoption rates were largely driven because of the requirement to reboot to install the feature. I don't know about that. I know Microsoft has made a big push toward removing reboots, but I also know you got to reboot pretty much once a month anyway. Yeah, hot patch, fine, sure. But for the hoi polloi, the largest percentage of population, people are rebooting once a month still. Okay, so I'm not sure that was really it. I do think low adoption rate was a big challenge. But if you defined it correctly, this is, again, one of my favorite things to do for a customer, and we demoed this in all of our in-person CIEs over the years, was define that Windows information protection would identify OneDrive, certain applications like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, whatever, and all of the Microsoft Online domains as part of your work profile, okay? So Windows information protection, as long as you are in those spaces, you got a little business briefcase on the websites, on the apps, all that kind of fun stuff. You can take that a step further then and define a reverse rule for the web browser that said, and if you're not in those spaces, you go into Defender App Guard. And again, eliminating printer, eliminating clipboard, actually even eliminating GPU access, right? It's kind of cool. So what you could do is you could say, listen, I'm worried about my users bleeding personal data over or work data into personal space or outright stealing it or whatever, right? And to their credit, Microsoft took a lot of that functionality that existed across those two tools and they rolled them into Purview's Endpoint DLP. Now, I think part of the less stated reason is that the processing for both WIP and Defender Application Guard is all client side. And I think we're going to be coming back and talking about some of that in the future with other technologies and where I think they're headed. But they've not tried to hide the fact that wherever possible, they want things processing server side, right? Not just processing it, but also logging it. So you can see it, so you can make real-time changes, all that kind of fun stuff. Primary example of that, and we will cover this, I will cover this, is Secure Service Edge, the internet access capabilities. And we'll get to that too, because that does bear on the same argument. But Windows Defender Application Guard, fully and totally removed. You cannot install it. Forcibly uninstalled, just doesn't exist in Windows 11 24H2. If you have machines that are in older rings, or you need to keep that functionality for whatever reason, now is the time to set up your deployment rings in Intune and ensure that the devices that you want enrolled or that you want to have those feature packs, feature updates, are in the right rings. So, strongly recommend, until you have a system in place to isolate browsing between personal and professional purposes on a Windows device, maybe take a look at seeing what you can do with your deployment rings and get as much life out of Defender App Guard as you possibly can. Anyway, more to come on Secure Service Edge. Thanks for joining.